Section 13. Receiving and Maintaining the Dharma. Subhuti asked the Buddha, "Bhagavan, by what name should we revere and maintain this sutra?" The Buddha told Subhuti, "This sutra is called the Vajrachedika Prajna Paramita, and by this name you should revere and maintain it." Why is it called this? Subhuti, this Prajna Paramita, spoken by the Buddha, is not Prajna Paramita. Subhuti, what do you think? Has the Tathagata actually spoken any Dharma? Subhuti replied, "Bhagavan, the Tathagata has not spoken." The Buddha replied, "Subhuti, what do you think? Are there very many atoms contained in 3,000 great thousand worlds?" Subhuti replied, "There are extremely many, Bhagavan." Subhuti, the atoms spoken of by the Tathagata are not atoms, and are thus called atoms. The worlds spoken of by the Tathagata are not worlds, and thus are called worlds. Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen by means of the 32 marks? No, Bhagavan, the Tathagata cannot be seen by means of the 32 marks. Why? The 32 marks that the Tathagata speaks of are not marks, and are thus called the 32 marks. Subhuti, suppose there were a good man or good woman who, in the practice of giving, gave his or her body away as many times as there are sands in the Ganges River. If there are people who accept and maintain even a 4-line verse from within this sutra, then the merits of this are far greater. Section 14. Leaving Appearances, Nirvana. At that time, Subhuti, hearing this sutra being spoken, had a profound understanding of its essential meaning and burst into tears. He then addressed the Buddha, saying, "How exceptional, Bhagavan, is the Buddha who thus speaks this profound sutra. Since attaining the eye of Prajna, I have never heard such a sutra. Bhagavan, if there are again people who are able to hear this sutra thusly, with a mind of clean and clear belief, giving rise to the true appearance, then this is a person with the most extraordinary merits. Bhagavan, the true appearance is not an appearance, and for this reason the Tathagata speaks of a true appearance." Bhagavan, being able to hear this sutra thusly, I do not find it difficult to believe, understand, accept, and maintain it. However, in the next era, 500 years from now, if there are sentient beings who are able to hear this sutra and believe, understand, accept, and maintain it, then they will be most extraordinary. Why? This is because such a person has no notions of a self, notions of a person, notions of a being, or notions of a life. Why? The characteristic of a self is not a true characteristic. Characteristics of a person, a being, and a life are also not true characteristics. Those who depart from all characteristics are called Buddhas. The Buddha told Subhuti, "Thusly, if there are again people who are able to hear this sutra and are not startled, terrified, or fearful, know that the existence of such a person is extremely rare. Why? Subhuti, this foremost paramita that the Tathagata speaks of is not a foremost paramita, and is thus called the foremost paramita. Subhuti, the paramita of forbearance that the Tathagata speaks of is not a paramita of forbearance. Why? Subhuti, this is like in the past when my body was cut apart by the Kali Raja. There were no notions of a self, notions of a person, notions of a being, or notions of a life. In the past, when I was being hacked limb from limb, if there were notions of a self, notions of a person, notions of a being, or notions of a life, then I would have responded with hatred and anger. Remember also that I was the receipt of forbearance for 500 lifetimes in the past. Over so many lifetimes there were no notions of a self, notions of a person, notions of a being, or notions of a life. Therefore, Subhuti, bodhisattvas should depart from all appearances in order to develop the mind of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. They should give rise to a mind which does not dwell in form. They should give rise to a mind which does not dwell in sounds, sense, tastes, sensations, or dharmas. They should give rise to a mind which does not dwell. Regarding anything that dwells in the mind, one should not dwell, and for this reason the Buddha says that the minds of bodhisattvas should not dwell in form when practicing giving. Subhuti, bodhisattvas should give thusly because it benefits all sentient beings. The Tathagata teaches that all characteristics are not characteristics, and all sentient beings are not sentient beings. Subhuti, the Tathagata is one who speaks what is true, one who speaks what is real, one who speaks what is thus, and is not a deceiver, or one who speaks to the contrary. Subhuti, the Dharma attained by the Tathagata is neither substantial nor void. Subhuti, if the mind of a bodhisattva dwells in dharmas when practice giving, then this is like a person in darkness who is unable to see anything. However, if the mind of a bodhisattva does not dwell in dharmas when practicing giving, then this is like a person who is able to see, and for whom sunlight clearly illuminates the perceptions of various forms. Subhuti, in the next era, if there are good men or good women capable of accepting, maintaining, studying, and reciting this sutra, then the Tathagata, by means of his Buddha wisdom, is always aware of them and always sees them. These people all obtain immeasurable, limitless merit.